What's up? I'm Aaron Caton. I'm a photographer by trade. I'm the co-founder of Agency Media. We are embarking on a journey right now where we've been in this studio that you see behind me for the last 13 years. And we're going to take you along with our journey. We're moving out of this studio, we're going to move into a new studio, and we're going to bring you along for the entire adventure. You're going to meet everybody involved. You've got my business partner, Ryan. You've got Edie, our creative director. You've got Jason Lee, another photographer that we work with, and a fantastic carpenter. He's going to be involved in a lot of this stuff. And you're going to meet Mary. She's a great fashion and swimsuit photographer, and she's in charge of our social media. This is pretty exciting. It's Monday, December 4th, and we just got the keys to the new space. And there's nobody else in, so I'm going over there by myself. But we're going to check out this new space we're going to see it for the first time without having any boats in it. There's the current tenants have had 2 boats in there, so we really haven't even been able to get a good sense of the scale or the size of the place. It's unlocked. All right, there we go. This is it. Not very bright in here. Actually, I think we got some better lights. We're gonna fix that anyway. So here's the space. It's empty. There's the loft upstairs. So let me explain what's going on here. Here, this will be the cyc wall. We're gonna build a corner cyc, so this will get framed in. And behind this, where this is empty right now, this is gonna be where we're gonna store all of our gear. This would be workspace, recharging stations, stuff like that. This area here is going to be the lounge where everybody's going to hang out. This bathroom's in pretty rough shape. This is going to have to be totally redone. It's looking pretty rough. We're going to retile this, and that's sounding pretty rough too. This will be a fridge right there. It's one office. We've got storage space up here. This needs a little work in here too, doesn't it? It's another office. Here we are in the new studio. I'm about to start painting this area right here. We've tested some paint samples on the wall. We've decided to go with this cooler dark gray. I'll time lapse this for you, but all this is going to get painted right here. Everything from here. You can see the underside of this is not finished, the floor here. So we're just going to paint this and put some cool lights in there. Edie and Mary decided to come and help me out, so I put them to work refinishing these stairs. They were pretty dirty and they needed a good sanding and stripping of all the current paint that was on there. Jason stopped by to help me map out some of the cyc wall. This is us creating a template for all the curved parts that are going to make the cyc wall happen. The stairs ended up needing a lot more work than we thought, so Jason came in with the big gun and really sanded these stairs down and got all the stain off of it and all the old paint, and really put some elbow grease into the refinishing of the stairs. And it was really worth it. You can tell in the finished product that it really needed to be done. Originally, we were just going to buy black vents for the AC, but I had a hard time finding them online, so what I decided to do was just take them down, clean them, and spray paint them black. And because the duct work was silver, I ended up deciding to paint it the same color as the wall, just so there would be no reflections on anything that we were shooting in the studio. And here Edie decided to take on staining the stairs, and she did a pretty good job of it. She went over with one coat and then eventually went back over and sanded some stuff down and did a second coat. It came out great. And this is me putting on the toe kicks. We basically blocked out each of the toe kicks of each one of the stairs. Now that the bulk of the painting is done, here Jason and I are beginning to frame out the wall that will be the short side of the corner cyc wall, and will create the space for the storage on the back side. Now that we've got the wall in place, we're anchoring it to the ground. This took a little bit of elbow grease to drill it into the cement. And here we are putting the wall on this back side of the wall. We decided to use this particle board, and we're just going to paint it the same color as everything else. Storage racks are going to go in front of this, so we wanted something that was easy to screw into. And on the other side is going to be drywall, so you're not going to see it anyway. This is the other side of that wall now, where we're putting up the drywall. And you can see that we've put it off the ground about 1.5 feet. That'll give us the room for the seamless transition of the cyc wall. Here you can see Jason starting the very dirty and messy process of mudding and sanding the drywall. And now to the fun part. This corner wall was pretty difficult to do. We had to get it off the ground just the right amount to slide the bottom pieces under. We decided to like the rest of the curved pieces, build them and then put them in place. And you can see Jason and I doing this. Actually, our buddy Derek had the day off, so we enlisted him to come and help us out, which was nice to have a third hand on this, because you can see it took quite a bit. After we got the ribs in place on the corner of the vertical part of the wall, we took the hardboard and started cutting pieces and installing them. That's when we really needed that third hand, so having Derek there really helped Jason and I. It took us a while to figure out how to do it properly, so we were testing small pieces out to see how well it fit, and it ended up cutting, I think, 2-foot wide strips to run all the way up it. So we would cut those 2-foot wide strips. The first one was 8 feet long, and then we had to use one of the scrap pieces to do the top part. You can see here it went in pretty well, and Jason had to go back through and put a bunch of screws in it, and then you can see he muds it in here at the end. Jason and I decided to build these ribs beforehand and then put them all in place and screw them together. It used a little bit of extra wood, but we had the scrap available to us, so we just went ahead and did it. And I think it worked out great because we attached everything together and then attached it to the wall, so we knew it was all plumb and square. Here's an overhead view from my office. It kind of gives you a good view of the layout of the floor. It's a total mess because of all the equipment we had in there to build this, but you'll see how great it looks once everything's cleaned out and everything's painted and the floor's put together. This side we did a little differently because we could slide the ribs underneath the wall to make it line up perfectly with the wall, so we decided to put the ribs in after we put the curved pieces in. After Jason finished mudding that corner, we cleaned the floor really well because we weren't sure whether we were going to mud right into the floor. So we put this red guard down and let it dry before we came back and attached the hardboard to the curved pieces. This part was tricky, attaching the hardboard to the curved part. It really took a lot of pressure keeping that hardboard flush against the ribs that we made. Basically, one of us would have to screw in as the other one kind of held the board down in front of us. And it was difficult to get them to line up perfectly, especially with that carved piece. But you can see here we did a pretty good job of it. Some of the screws went through the hardboard because it's only 1/8 of an inch thick. We had to come back and mud over the top of that, smooth everything out. The sanding part of this process was total mess. We had dust everywhere, all over the studio when this was over. It took us a couple of cleanings to get everything off. We'd have to vacuum everything up, mop it again, and I think even a third mop to get everything up. It was an absolute mess. So this corner bowl was probably the trickiest part of the build. It took us the longest to figure out, and we had these two free-floating pieces, and what we did was we built these ribs in on the bottom first to kind of anchor them in. And you can see how much we went back and forth cutting these ribs, trying to get them the right angle. You can see how many times we go back and forth cutting and recutting. The hard part was getting the angle right on the ribs that we would screw the hardboard to. So what we had an extra one of the curved pieces, so we used that as a template and did it both ways. We did it on his long side and the short side. We would use it as a template to get the right curve, and we would cut it out and then use a router to just route out the right angle so we could get that hardboard to sit flush up against the ribs. In the end, we decided to lay the hardboard down on the ground instead of mudding in the transition from the ribs to the floor, because we wanted it to be a smooth, seamless transition, and painting just the floor would have been difficult every time. We'd have to tape it off. And here I am putting the last coat of paint on the finished floor. I've done this a lot, and basically what I do is go through and give it a good vacuum, get all the debris off, and then put a coat of paint on it, which happens once a week sometimes. All right, everybody, this is a moment we've all been waiting for. As you can see, I've shaved my beard. New me, new studio. Let's check it out. All right, let's walk through so I can show you all the details, all the stuff you've just seen of us building the place. here it is all finished. Check it out. You see our beautiful corner cyc wall here. We've got 24 feet on this side, 14 feet on this side. Everything here has been painted gray, so there's no reflection. You've got something to shoot that's really reflective, like a vehicle or a product. It's not going to reflect any of the ductwork here because it's all colored the same color gray. See how great the stairs turned out? We put lights on it, so when the lights are out, you can see your way upstairs. And check out how great this storage turned out. All the stands are right here. They're all organized great, so you have access to them. We have our Apple boxes right down here. We've got a couple of director's chairs. We've got this great stool to shoot from, which we use all the time. This is great to shoot a subject here. Come on back here. So this is the kind of lounge area. This is where everybody works when you've got a big team here and somebody's shooting. We've got a makeup station here that turned out great, and some cool Polaroids that Mary took. And all the storage back here. All the bins are labeled with everything in it, all the backdrops, extension cords, silks, 12 by 12 silks, 20 by 20 silks. We've even got a 20 by 30 foot silk in here. We've got all your storage here on the wall. When you need to grab a flash, you can grab it off. You can put your reflectors on it, put it on a stand, roll it out into the studio. We've got a great workbench here. This is where a lot of the accessories will go once we get everything organized and put them up there. But you can see we have Pocket Wizards here, batteries for the Pocket Wizards. This is going to be a charging station. We'll have chargers for all the big cameras, Sony, Nikon, Canon, all charged right here. We'll attach that to the wall too. Come over here, you can see all of our V-flats and boards, easily accessible. You pull them right out, bring them onto the studio floor, you're good to go. You've got a little refrigerator, water dispenser here, and check this out. You guys remember seeing how bad the bathroom looked before? Check this out. Voila, very comfortable bathroom. We even have a heated seat on our toilet.
Wow.
So, what do you guys think? Let us know what you think. If you want to rent this space and you're in Central Florida, hit us up